Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for the transfer tips video for Game Week 13. This is the buy, sell, hold, and ignore series. We hope everyone's doing well. It feels like a very long time since we last went on stream. I think it's been about 10 days or so since our last stream. Obviously, there's been an international break. However, that is now over. So very happy. Football is returning. Premier League is back. And no more international break, I believe, till March, around March time. So that's good. I think that's positive. And yeah, happy to be back with FPL. How you doing, Jordan? And how's your week going so far?
Yeah, it's going well so far. I think we've had a nice little break from obviously fantasy and Premier League football, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the international break that we've had, and it's given you time to obviously refresh and get prepared for Game Week 13, which is literally approaching.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, buy, sell, hold, ignore. Transfer tips, as always, on a Tuesday. We normally go live, as you guys recognize. We know we don't normally go live on a Wednesday, but we couldn't stream yesterday due to availability, so we've decided to do it today. But yeah, let's start off with the first buy on the list. And you've selected Solanke as a buy. Talk us through this selection and why you think he could be a potential transfer in for our teams.
Yeah, Solanke is a differential pick that I've gone for this week for Game Week 13. He does have Sheffield United away in his first fixture coming back from the international break, which is obviously a nice one, I think, to target. And with Solanke's record so far this season, it's been pretty good. I mean, it doesn't feel like Solanke has scored 6 goals and got 1 assist. Considering how well Bournemouth have played this season, they've been struggling from the very start. But regardless, Solanke has been a great asset if you've owned him from the very first obviously game week, as he has returned really well considering Bournemouth's performance. And at his ownership, at being 3.8%, I think he's a really nice buy, especially with the fixture Sheffield United away. It's a good fixture for Solanke. And the other fixtures that Bournemouth have, maybe not ones that they'll win, but it is ones that potentially Solanke can get a goal in, as he has done on such occasions, like in Game Week 6 when he scored against Brighton in that 3-1 loss, or in that 2-2 draw in Game Week 4 where he scored another one. So it is a very roll of the dice on when Solanke will score, but it's the fixtures which aren't too bad for him that there is possibility that he can score in any one of those particular fixtures. And with his price at 6.4 million, I thought he's a cheap, nice pick to go for, considering if we have Watkins or Alvarez, for example, up front, they're a bit more expensive and their fixtures aren't as good as Solanke's are at the moment. And I think a lot of people have taken out a lot of forwards going forward to Game Week 13. And I think as an alternative pick that no one's really looking for, I think Solanke could be a decent buy, not just for Game Week 13, but for the next 5 fixtures that Bournemouth have.
Okay, nice one. So Solanke as a pick. Yeah, I agree. So it's a good pick. But let us know what you guys think as well of potentially bringing Solanke into your team. Is it something you're considering? Let us know in the chat. Let's move on then to the next player that we've selected as a buy. And I've gone with Saliba at Arsenal. Now, as you guys see, Saliba, 12 appearances so far, 1 goal and 1 assist. And I am actually looking at potentially bringing Saliba into my own team. Now, as you guys, if you didn't watch our last deadline stream, I was very, very close of bringing Saliba into my own team. However, I went with Livramento last minute. I regret it already. I should have went Saliba. Obviously, he ended up going and scoring, I believe, that week as well in Game Week 12. But the reason why I've picked Saliba as a buy is because mainly the fixtures look very nice. You look at the next 5, Brentford, Wolves, Luton, Villa, Brighton. Now, definitely from the next 3 games, you can see at least 2 clean sheets, maybe even 3 for Arsenal. So I think with his price, he's had a bit of a price rise, 5.4 million now. But one thing we do know, a lot of us have Gabriel, and we've seen Gabriel miss the odd game this season. But Saliba seems like he's nailed. He's going to play every game if he's fit. So for that reason, I do like how nailed he is. Yes, he may not get as many goals and assists, which, as we saw, obviously by last week, he did score. But I just think the fixtures look very nice, and I think double Arsenal defense against Wolves and Luton could be very nice. You know, if you have Saliba and you have Gabriel, I think a double Arsenal defense is where I'm leaning towards, rather than the double Arsenal attack, which I think hasn't been as potent as last season. So I think for me, I like double Arsenal attack. Sorry, double Arsenal attack. I like double Arsenal defense, and it's something I'm considering for my own team. And I wish I went Saliba instead of Livramento last week. But now that's out the way, let us know what you guys think of Saliba as well in the chat. Because again, I think he's still a good pick for that nailedness. He's going to play 90 minutes every week, and I can see at least 3 clean sheets in the next 5 games. But let's move on to the next pick on our list, and we're going to move on to some players that we think you should maybe look at selling. This is an interesting one. You've gone with Alvarez, which obviously you own Alvarez, and you've gone with a sell.
Yeah.
Talk us through why you would be looking to sell Alvarez, because that's an interesting pick.
Yeah, Alvarez is an interesting one because I did see, obviously, on the fancy website, Alvarez has been transferred out quite a fair bit by managers. He's not in the top 5, but he is up there in terms of the amount of transfers he's had taken out by, obviously, managers. I think about 56,000 so far have transferred out Alvarez, and I feel like it is time to sell Alvarez, because especially when he has Liverpool at home in Gameweek 13. I think even though I can see Alvarez potentially maybe scoring in that game, it's the fixtures afterwards that don't seem as promising. And also to mention as well, it's not in the next 5 fixtures, but along the lines, Man City do have a blank coming up as well. And I believe that's in Gameweek 18. It's currently not on the, obviously, the slide because we're showing the next 5 fixtures, but longer down the line, I think Man City assets will obviously be ones that we'll look to get rid of. Obviously, not for the current moment, but in terms of Alvarez, if you've got Haaland up front, I think at this moment in time, I don't think you necessarily need Haaland and Alvarez as the Man City duo, as most of us, like myself, have been going with so far this season. And it has paid off. I mean, 4 goals and 3 assists. If you've owned Alvarez from obviously game 1, he has returned really well and has played a lot of minutes for Man City, which I think surprised a lot of us how many minutes he has played this season. But that is down to obviously injuries and how Pep is playing the squad in the starting 11. But I think Alvarez can be a sell. Obviously, for this Liverpool home fixture, it is going to be tough, but it is a home fixture for Alvarez nonetheless. Could be one he scores in, so this could backfire. But I think for me, he is a sell. There is other forwards that have a better fixture in Game Week 13. Like I have mentioned before, like Solanke, I think he's a great buy to bring in if you're looking to go different. Because if we look at Alvarez's ownership, it is moderately high at 32.1%. So you don't really, depending on where you are in terms of rank, he won't really affect your rank if he does score, other than obviously the main man Haaland. So I think I would like to go a bit more different with ownership, especially with the team, because Alvarez is relative to template. A lot of people have him in our fantasy teams, and at 7.1 million, he's a bit fairly pricey as well. And yeah, I've seen his ownership slightly dip as well. And yeah, I think for me myself, I could potentially sell Alvarez and bring someone in that's relatively owned and has better fixtures long term down the line.
Okay, so that's Jordan's thoughts on Alvarez and why you could be looking at probably selling him. Let's move on then to the next player that we've gone with as a sell, and this is one of my selections. I've gone with Mitoma as a sell. Now, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but I think he's currently flagged, isn't he?
Yeah,
On FPL.
Yeah, Matoma is currently flagged. It's a bit of a shame because I bought him in my team, and this is a blow.
So right now he's got a knock 50% chance of playing. I saw a tweet by Andy Naylor, the Brighton journalist, and it looks like Mitoma is going to miss Game Week 13 against Forest. But I don't think it's that serious. He could be back for Game Week 14 against Chelsea. But if he's going to miss game week 13, I would probably sell Matoma personally, for someone like an Embuemo and just bringing him in early before his nice fixture run in game week 14. So yeah, Matoma's injured. He's probably going to miss game week 13. For that reason, I would probably be getting rid of him because after that, the fixtures aren't the greatest anyway. Chelsea in game week 14, and we know Chelsea have had a bit of an uptick in form. Brentford again, another team that's decent. Arsenal in game week 17 is going to be tough, and I probably would be looking to remove Mitoma, in the midterm. The fixture in game week 13 was nice, but we know if he's injured, he's not going to play. So there's no point really holding Mitoma for that fixture. So yeah, I'd be looking to get rid. And there's players like um, Embuemo we've mentioned from game week 14. His fixture run looks nice. Some people might go cheap with a Palmer, or after his fixture maybe turns. There's the likes of Bowen. I know he's injured as well, but people are looking at him. Kudus maybe at West Ham. If you want another West Ham midfielder that with the nice fixtures, Kudus could be a very interesting option. But yeah, for me, Matoma is a sell. I think if I had him, I probably would got rid, but I don't own him. But yeah, it's a shame for those owners because obviously he's got a nice fixture in game week 13. Let's move on then to players that we think we should be looking to hold on to for at least another week or so. You've gone with Ben White as a hold. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, this was a weird one because Ben White was heavily transferred out. I was actually surprised of how many people have transferred out. 185,000 so far have transferred out Ben White. He's currently on the yellow flag for a muscle injury, but in terms of his muscle injury, we're not really clear on how serious it is. And this is why I put him as a whole, because he did miss the Burnley game 2 weeks ago after feeling discomfort in training. But since then, as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been an update on that, obviously that injury or whatever it is, injury, muscle injury, or how serious it is or whatnot. So I think a lot of you are jumping the guns on Ben White unless you know further updates on his current situation. But as far as I'm aware, I think he's a hold. He could potentially play in that Brentford away fixture, and even if he doesn't, I still want him for Wolves home, Luton away. I think there's two good fixtures where they could get a clean sheet in terms of Arsenal. And yeah, I wouldn't look him to get rid of Ben White just yet. I think it's a bit early, especially when we don't know how serious his muscle injury is. And considering he missed the Burnley game as well entirely, that does give him plenty of rest period from 2 weeks ago up to now to obviously have his situation improved, whatnot. But his ownership has dropped quite a lot, 14.4% now. I can remember him being over 20% owned. So a lot of people have taken out Ben White, which is quite a surprise early on. And yeah, 5.8 million. I mean, he has had a few price rises. I think he started at 5.5, but yeah, I'll definitely be holding on to Ben White until I find out for sure. Preferably in the news conference when Arteta speaks about Ben White, see what his situation is going forward if he is to play in that Brentford away game. But even if he doesn't, I still think you could hold him for the next two fixtures, which is Wolves at home and Luton away, where obviously Ben White could potentially get a clean sheet.
Okay, so Ben White, let us know your thoughts on him, guys. Are you going to hold him if you own him, or are you going to sell if you've sold already? Let us know in the chat. Next one up, and the other hold that is a topic I think this week potentially, because then that is obviously Heung-min Son at Spurs. Now, Son is actually being sold by a few managers, which I've seen again, which has surprised me. Looking at Son, 12 appearances, 8 goals, 1 assist. So he's having a brilliant season. However, we do know Tottenham have come off the back of 2 back-to-back losses against Chelsea and Wolves as well in the last minute of game week 12. And obviously their poor form in the last 2 games has coincided with all the injuries and suspensions. And a lot of people are looking at Spurs now thinking, because of these injuries, because of these suspensions they have, a lot of key players out like Maddison, Van der Ven, Romero, Udogi. I think Basuma is going to be suspended as well. A lot of their main men out. So I think people are losing a bit of faith maybe in Spurs in that sense, looking at the managers that are looking to get rid of Son. But I still believe Son is a hold. I know Spurs I've had a couple of bad results, but I still like Son as a pick. Maybe not long term, but I don't think you need to rush to get rid of Son if you don't need to. Villa at home is not the worst fixture. I know Villa are playing well this season, but Son is the main man at Spurs, and we've seen what he can do in front of goal. He's clinical. Yes, is a chance he's going to be there compared to how they were when Madison was in the team, etc. Maybe not, but I still back Son to like just tumble along and get points. I do think he's gonna just tick along and be nice. So 9.7 million, we know it's quite expensive, but me personally, I think I'm gonna give Son another week against Villa and see how he does. After that, maybe you could get rid. Game week 14, he's got Man City. I'm not completely ruling out getting rid of Son longer term, but I think this week I'll be keeping him because I think there's other bigger fires in people's teams that they could look to get rid of rather than removing Son, who's got a home game against Villa. But yeah, that's the hold. And those are the holds out the way. Let us know what you guys think as well. And if you guys are watching the chat, if you guys are watching in the chat, make sure you do comment your thoughts. Also, please do like the stream if you are enjoying the content. It really helps support the channel. So hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed as well in terms of the channel. If you're watching for the first time, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps support and grow our channel further. But yeah, finally, moving on to the ignores. You've gone with Simicast, interestingly. There's actually been some news on Simicast. I believe he is actually fit because there was some news coming out that he missed his international team. He didn't travel with the international team with Greece. But apparently, he's fit to be fine for Man City. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Simicast and why he's an ignore?
Yeah, after that massive return that Simicast got against Brentford and that 3-0 win, a 15-pointer for those 2 assists and obviously the clean sheet and bonus 3 points, I put Simicast as ignore. Reason being is he has Man City next. I know Simicast has shown attacking threat, as he has done obviously in that Brentford game where he got the 2 assists, but his next opponent, Man City away, I don't see a clean sheet in that game whatsoever. I possibly can't see an attack return from Simicast either, which may again bite me in the back. But yeah, I think he's an ignore for this week. A lot of you have brought him in, I think mostly because of that massive fall we got against Brentford, that 15-pointer. So it kind of makes sense why you would want to bring in Simicast as well, especially when he got a back-to-back clean sheet in Gameweek 9 and 10, which again, it was very valuable at the price of 4.7 million, very cheap. And a 4.7 million player getting a double haul of 15 points, that will tempt you into bringing in a player like Simicast. But I think for this week, you can wait and not bring Simicast obviously in against Man City. I don't see a clean sheet. The likelihood of an attacking return for Simicast is not as much as I hoped there to be as a Simicast owner myself. But after Man City, he does become a decent, I think, buy to go for with Fulham and Sheffield and Crystal Palace in that run of fixtures. I think that's the time when you can think of bringing Simicast into your team. But I think you can ignore him for Game Week 13, where he obviously has Man City. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be very... it's not sure which way it's going to go. Obviously, it could go Liverpool's or Man City's or neither way in that fixture. But I think that's an easy ignore. I think for Simicast for Game Week 13.
Yeah. Okay. Simicast as an ignore. Obviously, tough game against City. Moving on then to the next pick. I've gone with Nketiah as well as an ignore. I think if you've got Nketiah, I think he's a sell in that sense as well. But yeah, I know with Nketiah, he had that haul, didn't he, in Game Week 10, 11, where he scored that hat trick. However, Jesus is back from injury, and we know that when Jesus is back, he's going to come back into the team, which makes Nketiah, not a great pick because you don't know if he's going to start. You might come on for 20 minutes at the end. So for that reason, I wouldn't I wouldn't be going anywhere near Nketiah. I know the fixtures are nice. Wolves and Luton, especially in game week 14 and 15, look good in terms of fixtures. I'm just not sure, how much minutes you can expect from Nketiah, especially with, as I mentioned, Jesus back from injury. If you've enjoyed the points in game week 10, I think it was game week 10, I think that's, you should guys be happy with those points and probably look to get rid if you do own Nketiah, that is. But if not, definite easy ignore for us. So yeah, that is where we stand with Nketiah. We're going to take a few of your comments and questions, so get them in the chat below. Also, if you haven't already, smash the like button, guys, if you are watching in the channel. We've got Roman. Hi, lads. Me personally, I cannot wait for the Premier League to be back as my country failed to qualify for the Euros by 1 point. Welcome back, Roman. Nice to see you again. But yeah, both of us are buzzing that the Premier League is back. Can't wait for the first game, Liverpool, Man City, 12 o'clock kickoff. What a strange time to kick off, but I am looking forward to it. And yeah, let us know who your country is as well. Neil, good luck this week to you both. Thank you, Neil, as always.
Neil.
Roman also says Saliba W, but I'm unsure if I double up with Gabriel is not worth it for me personally. Yeah, fair enough. I think it could be worth it, especially because of the fixtures. As you see on the screen, I think Wolves and Luton, I can see clean sheets for Arsenal in the next couple of games. So I don't hate the move. Just some chat on Alvarez. I'll let you take a question, Jordan. Pranav says, sorry, I got rid of cash for Kufal for a -4 and planning Suchek in later. Is that good?
Well, just to touch on Matty Cash, yeah, he's flagged with a knock and he withdrew from the opponent's squad. But his injuries, we're not sure what type of injury he has. So again, I'm not sure whether getting rid of Cash now would be a good idea.
Cash's fixtures aren't great though. It's Spurs, Bournemouth, Man City, Arsenal in the next 4, and I think Cash is an easy sell as well. For me, Cash is a sell, but it depends if you have transfers. Again, if you've got one free transfer, maybe not. You want to. I'm not keen on holding Cash for longer.
No, there's not been many clean sheets. I think the last clean sheet, obviously they got was in. Trying to think now, it's been so long.
Game week 5, I think, or game week 6.
Yeah, pretty much. Game week 6 against Chelsea was their last clean sheet, and I think they've only kept 3. I think Matty Cash. So yeah, I can see in that sense why you'd want to get rid of Matty Cash. Not many clean sheets for him under his belt, and for West Ham, you could see more potentially from Souček. He shows attacking threat as well. So for -4, I don't know if I'll do it for -4. That's the thing. It's a lot for a defender, especially this season where we're not seeing many clean sheets from teams either.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll take a -4 for bringing in a defender with not as much high upside. But if you've only got 10 playing players, like if you've not got any bench, then maybe a -4 is worth it. But I personally don't like taking -4s for defenders unless it's like a double game week or something like that. I mean, captaincy. I mean, we will talk about this more in terms of captaincy in the team selection video. Sorry, on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So, just very quickly, I mean, if we are going to captain, are you set on captaincy yet, or who are you captaining? Like early thoughts?
Yeah, I think it'll be me again, boring Haaland pick. Captaincy. I think it's between either Salah or Haaland. I think this week because they're both against each other. So one way or another, it may go both ways. It may go one way.
Yeah, of course, I own both Salah, Haaland. I am leaning towards Haaland because it's a home game, but we'll see. Come closer to the deadline, but yeah, I'm on Haaland at the moment. Have you watched the Brazil Argentina game? Nope, I did not catch it. I know it was quite late, but no, I did. I know. Was it Argentina won 1-0, I believe. I didn't catch the game.
Yeah, I didn't catch the game either. But I imagine it was a good one between Brazil and Argentina.
And I think we're going to wrap it up here. This has been the transfer tips video for Game Week 13, the buy, sell, hold, ignore series. We are back actually tomorrow again for the team selection video. And we're going to be talking about how our teams are lining up, talking about our transfer plans, captaincy plans as well, and just giving you guys our thoughts as well on certain players and questions you may have for us as well on that stream. So make sure you tune in tomorrow 7 p.m. UK time for that stream. Should be a good one. And we're back again Saturday morning for the deadline stream as well. But yeah, that's it from us. We are going to wrap it up here. Anything else you want to add, Jordan, before we do head out?
It was just one thing from the chat from obviously he's got a bench one of them: Bowen, Trippier, Alvarez, or Diaby.
I'll let you take that one. But I know Bowen is injured, ain't he?
He is, but I heard it was minor, the injury for Bowen. So I think he would still play upcoming match. But yeah, apparently it was he withdrew for the England squad after sustaining what thought to be a minor knee injury in training. So I don't think it's that serious, even though Bowen's flagged. But I would bench. I'd probably bench Diaby, I think.
Okay. Well, that's your question answered, Pranav. But yeah, guys, thank you for all your comments. If you are still in the chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you, and take care.